So check this out. Tupac Shakur estate has reportedly sent a cease and desist letter threatening to sue Drake allegedly. Now this is after Drake used Tupac's voice in an AI form on his new freestyle Tailor Made. Now the record was used to diss Kendrick Lamar. Of course, everyone knows this is the biggest rap beef in the past 20 years, all right? And Drake decided to use not only Tupac likeness and use his voice in AI form, he also used Snoop. And it looks as if it was unauthorized, as Tupac's estate reached out to Billboard with a letter from the estate's attorney stating that they would like him to remove the record within the next 24 hours or they will file a formal direct lawsuit against him. So it says Tupac Shakur estate is threatening to sue Drake over a recent diss track against Kendrick Lamar that featured an AI-generated version of the late rapper's voice, calling it a flagrant violation of the law and a blatant abuse of his legacy. In a Wednesday cease and desist letter obtained exclusively by Billboard, litigator Howard King told Aubrey Drake Graham that he must confirm that he will pull down this tailor-made freestyle in less than 24 hours or the estate will pursue all its legal remedies against him. The estate is deeply dismayed and disappointed by your unauthorized use of Tupac's voice and personality, King wrote in a letter. Not only is the record a flagrant violation of Tupac's publicity and the estate's legal rights, it is also a blatant abuse of his legacy of one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. The estate would never have given its approval for its use. All right, and of course, the record dropped on Friday, and this is just a chapter of a back-and-forth war between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Now, according to what I read, Kendrick Lamar is a real good friend to the estate of Tupac Shakur, and they spoke about that also in the letter. So I'm going to continue to read this. It says, in Tuesday's letter, Tupac's estate warned Drake that the use of his voice clearly violated Tupac's so-called publicity rights and the legal power to control how your image and likeness is used by others. They took particular exception to the use of his voice to take shots at Lamar. He stated that the unauthorized, equal dismaying use of Tupac's voice against Kendrick Lamar, a good friend to the estate who has given nothing but respect to Tupac in his legacy, publicly and privately, compounds the insult. So they're basically saying is that they would never approve Tupac being used in a rap beef against Kendrick Lamar or anyone, as it's a disrespect to his legacy. And overall, Drake needs to do what's right and remove the record. Now, of course, we've seen Snoop Dogg. I don't know if you guys see the video of Snoop Dogg seemingly responding to it, saying like, you know, what, like, you know, I heard about it, but he was just like making it in a joking matter. And his reply, like, you know, they did what, when, how? Are you sure? And that's what he said in a video and replying to that. Now, the biggest thing that I just want to highlight about this whole situation is that AI is really dangerous because previously, I want to say, after he dropped that freestyle, there was an AI-generated Kendrick Lamar diss track that hit the web and it blew up on Twitter. It had millions and millions of views, right? Then this guy popped up and he said that he actually made the AI-generated diss track and it wasn't Kendrick Lamar, which was so spooky because it sounded so much like Kendrick Lamar that a regular person would really think that it was him, which is bad because we're talking about a rap beef. Rap beef can get real dangerous. You know, we've lost the greatest rappers in the world due to rap beef and due to social media, misunderstanding, stuff like that. And I think it's so creepy. Now, just another point to how creepy it is for you to use someone else's likeness and using a computer to do so. It was Isaac Hayes the third, I believe it was. I seen him on social media, and what he did, he was basically trying to say that there needs to be some laws passed where people can't use people's likeness with AI without having some type of financial or, you know, legal action placed against them, because he had took a record, right? And, you know, he rapped and said, I want to make a rap trap song with one of these AI tools, and it came up with a song that sound just like Jeezy. I was like, when I tell you it sounds just like him, I wouldn't have any type of clue, like at all, that it wasn't him. That's how well it like they generated the voice. That's how well they generated the voice. So you got to think about it like this too. When you think about criminals and the law, people going to court for certain things. Recordings used to be very vital when taking someone down. If they're doing something wrong, they're trying to do some type of phone tapping or recordings, using recordings as evidence in court. Now when you have AI generating voices, you can just set somebody up and make it look like it was them while they were out here stealing or scamming or doing fraud. And there's no way of being able to confirm or deny it's that person because it sounds just like them. Another thing I start thinking about is in hip hop, how record labels can just take advantage of artists even more now because there's so many record companies that, of course, they barely pay the artists. But think of it like this. If an artist is so desperate, they're willing to sign a contract. Imagine you leaving a record company and then because of the shitty contract you signed, they're able to just use your voice and make whatever records they want in your likeness while you're still alive. Do you know how creepy that is? Even while you're dead. Now, the first step of AI that I seen was when they were doing a hologram thing, and they did a hologram Tupac, and they did like hologram Whitney Houston when she was like, they had her like performing overseas and stuff. And I thought that was so creepy because it was like you were summoning the dead. Like, I never understood that, but it's even worse when the family of the deceased person doesn't approve and you're just able to take their voice and do whatever you want with it and just get millions and thousands of views off of it and generate money off of it when it's not them. But we got to think about how dangerous it is for the rappers that's living right now. We got everybody beefing against each other. You got Kendrick, you got Future, Metro Boomin, you got Drake, you got Rick Ross. Look, J. Cole was involved, but he backed out. You got all of these guys going at it back and forth. And it's really like, it can get dangerous when you get in people that's bored. Like this guy that generated, auto-generated Kendrick Lamar's voice and made it sound like he was dissing Drake when it wasn't even his diss track. It can get very dangerous if people don't come out and say, yo, that's not me. Because the only thing that I seen that confirmed that it was AI was the producer for Kendrick Lamar coming out saying it. But you didn't ever see Kendrick Lamar go on his social media and say, hey, y'all, that's not me. I don't know where, that came from. And Kendrick's a pretty quiet guy. But just think about that. Think about how dangerous that is and how people could just take it or hear that on the internet and just run with it. Something got to change. Something got to change. It sounds like just like Kendrick. That's the part that got me. And even with the Tupac generated one, you can hear that it was Drake's flow, but it sounds like Tupac. And that, to me, I thought it was spooky. I thought it was lame. And then as I dove deeper into why he did it, my personal opinion of why he used Tupac's voice, he was trying to use the 8 Mile theory. And if people don't understand the 8 Mile theory, like with Eminem in the movie 8 Mile, right? The reason why he won his rap battle is because he pointed out all of his flaws to his opponent. So he basically said, yeah, I'm a trailer trash white boy. I live with my moms, this, and this. And then he also stepped in and then attacked his opponent all in one freestyle. So the opponent, he couldn't come back with anything. You right? Because now if you say it, the audience is like, well, it doesn't hit really. It doesn't hit at all. So with this record, essentially what I was gathering when I listened to the record is Drake was basically trying to use Tupac as Kendrick Lamar as an opponent, coming at him and saying all of his flaws and who he is and what he is and stuff like that, especially with Rick Ross coming out calling him a white boy and all these different things. He tried to use that for his advantage. And then he also added Snoop in it. So now if Kendrick decides to reply back, anything that he could think of Drake already said about himself, so it's kind of like him putting himself in the safe zone, which is also pretty lame because now it's like you use Tupac and Snoop. Kendrick Lamar could just pick that apart right there alone. And there's so many other things in regards to Drake that we don't know as a public that maybe Kendrick Lamar knows about behind the scenes that Drake hasn't mentioned in the freestyle, of course, because he doesn't want the world to know. But this is what I will say in regards to all of this beef going on. I just think that it could get pretty dangerous. Now, particularly, I don't think Kendrick Lamar and Drake situation is going to get dangerous. I don't think anybody's going to shoot each other and stuff like that. But I will say with Quavo and Chris Brown beef, I just feel like it could get very violent. And I just feel like some of the stuff is just going a bit too far now. And I just feel like for Chris Brown to take his time to engage in this beef, it's really not worth it. Like, really, they beefing over some females, and it's like it really don't matter at the end of the day. Y'all safety matters and stuff, and you got to remember you're a recording artist. Like, you got fans out there. Everybody got fans. You just make it a little bit more dangerous for yourself. Like, I enjoy the banter back and forth as long as nobody, gets hurt. And unfortunately, a lot of times, the musicians, rappers, their crews and stuff, they're from the streets and shit can get real greasy and dangerous. But anyways, I want to hear your thoughts about this. Haven't been on here for a minute, but I wanted you guys to hear about this. This is crazy. This is crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Do you guys think Drake will take that down in the next 24 hours? I would think so, because he has a big network and they could sue the socks off him. Do you guys think it was a smart move for him to use Tupac's voice? Do you find it disrespectful for him to use Tupac's voice and Snoop's voice? I want to know your thoughts about that. Make sure you guys leave a comment below. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. This is DJ Jerica Podcast. I'm DJ Jerica. Also, if you guys like music, go over to my other page, DJ Jerica Music Lounge, when I be scratching on the ones and twos, mixing up your favorite R&B music, throwback music, hip-hop, all of that. So I want to hear your thoughts about it. Share your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Much love. Peace.